Chuck, we just heard Roger talk about that balance beam or internal barometer. What if somebody comes to work for a company, they don't have the ethical values, they haven't been raised that way, they want to make a buck? Can they really be converted to that culture because they don't have that internal barometer?
My answer certainly is that yes, they can be, and on a bigger, broader basis, if we can't do that, then we've got very little opportunity for our society. Every opportunity or every circumstance that a person gets into, they can learn, whether it's in school, if they didn't learn it at home, if it's in the college and they weren't able to get it in other fashion, or they're working for a company. All of those opportunities, whether it's their marriage, whatever relationship they're in, is an opportunity for them to get those values that are necessary to have a sustainable life and a happy life. So absolutely, a company can do that. You've got to onboard those people, get them to understand what the culture is about, what the opportunities can be, what sustainability means, what the core values of the company are, and many of them will absolutely jump on board and jump on board in a big way. Some people choose not to, and they get off the bus, but we as a society have to keep the hope that somewhere along the line they will get those values and incorporate those values into their own lives to go forward.
Should we be giving them more messages from society so that before they get to a Fairmont Minerals or a Facebook or an Alcoa or another company, they have some core values that they feel comfortable with?
I would love for that to occur. And I would love for our news to be much more good news or news about values, good people, and a lot of the great things that are happening
holding
in
up
this society.
leaders as role models.
Unfortunately, that's not where we are, so we've got to find other ways. And our universities, our colleges, our high schools are absolutely one of the better places for us to be able to try to do that. I think that most universities have got a standard of ethics in that university. They have a standard of conduct in the student body and the instructors. I think a lot of, particularly I can speak of Case Western Reserve University and Baldwin Wallace. Those are two schools that do teach ethics and do teach values within many of the structures, many of the education programs that they put forward. Sustainability is becoming a
major issue,
right, and a major part of a lot of universities' programs, and that will help us get to where we need to be from a standpoint of students coming out of universities with some values, and looking for those companies that have those same values, which will then extend into that company being one that customers look to, having those values and transfer those values. That gets success.
Maybe we should teach values and ethics through the door of sustainability. Sustainable success is only possible if you follow the value system.
Sustainable life.
Sustainable life.
That is. That's exactly true. It's part of the definition. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's an excellent way of getting
to have
conversation
them
about those
going.
Kinds of things.
Because that they can relate.
Yes.
We have to enter a building from the door is available. So what is their door? Their door is sustainable success.
Right.
And from that door, if we can teach them values and teach them ethics, then maybe we have a chance.
I think ultimately things are very simple. We as human beings, we have a kind of a self-regulating system. We all have divine sparks where we really want to do the right thing, and we want to get that psychic benefit, that reinforcement from doing the right thing. And ultimately, as you said, Chuck, we all want to be happy. You have an extraordinary business, but I think we place too much responsibility with businesses transforming the values. I think we have to, all of us, accept responsibility. We have to say, it's our society's problem. We all have to promote the values that we want all of our leaders to live by.
And those successes in a company come from certainly trust and believing in those values, but it really comes from each individual within the company, deciding to embrace those values and be a part of a successful group, happy group, and one that can transfer its values to its customers.
And ultimately treat others how you would want to be treated. Very, very
Golden
simple.
rule.
The golden rule. That's right.
Absolutely.
And thanks so much for helping us on this show. And hopefully we can convert people into sustainable leaders who promote values within their company and within our society. We'll be back in a moment with Barbara Marlowe, our community commentator. Welcome back to Values in Action. We're here with our community commentator, Barbara Marlowe from Dworkin and Bernstein Law Firm. She's Director of Community Engagement, and Ohio Lawyers Give Back. I know that your firm sues people for a living, so what do you think about...
Well, that's not the only thing we do.
What do you think about this discussion?
Well, first of all, I want to commend Chuck Fowler and the way he runs his business, Fairmont Minerals, and it really is a shame that there aren't more companies like that. Because yes, at Dworkin, I do see a lot of cases where there is a lot of consumer fraud that's committed. And a lot of times it's at a middle management level, and upper management doesn't know. But to the consumer, I think, at least I always thought this way, how could the head of the organization not know?
Yeah, but what happens is in any organization, you're allowed to tell a little lie once in a while. You try to get away with a lack of quality once in a while. And it's like at home, when a phone call comes, a father says, "Tell him I'm not home."
Yeah, that's right. It carries over to the children invariably.
Yeah. So we do that without knowing.
And it just shows us that we need that uniform set of values that then brings out the goodness in all of us. And you know, when they talk about, Chuck and Roger and David, when they talk about sustainable company, a company cannot be sustainable if it's living a lie in one way, shape, or form, because ultimately either the consumer's going to notice and they're going to go out of business, or they're going to get sued because they're not living according to the value structure that our society has.
Well, how many times have you heard somebody say, well, it's just a white lie? I mean, now we're trying to define what kind of lie. It's okay to lie, but we have to tell you what kind of lie it is.
It's like saying tough love.
Yeah.
It's still tough.
Right. It still is. But, you know, I think...
until it's nurtured constantly, I think you have to make constant effort to not fall beyond a certain line. Because if your organization does not support that, it's going to slowly slip away. So that is the role of the CEO.
But I also think there are some people that don't feel comfortable in their workplace, that don't feel like they can come in and tell the truth of why they were late or why they just needed a mental health day off.
Yes.
I think
they're afraid.
Yeah, the CEO and the senior management needs to
set
understand.
The tone.
They need to set the tone
Yes.
and say, look, you know what? You're an individual who we value, and we want to support and nurture you. And I remember one CEO who told all of his employees, my mission in life is that I want to support your hopes and dreams. You know, all of a sudden they look at their CEO, they say, boy, you know, if I can align my hopes and dreams with this company, I'm going to be a loyal employee.
You know, I remember a saying I once heard, and it was, as you climb up the ladder of success, grab the hand of someone else and pull them up with you. And I've never forgotten that.
Yes.
Great comment. On that note, we're going to invite everyone to continue the discussion on Twitter and Facebook at Values Action.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you for watching this program. We will be back next week for more Values in Action.